Hello everyone, my name's David, and welcome to Helloooo, Long Island. We're here at the Jones Beach Hotel today, here in Wantagh, New York. And next to me I have Michele Michael. You know, I'm pretty new to this social media, television stuff, but when Michele came out, I said, please come next to me, because when I have Michele Michael next to me, man, I have what represents the Long Island business community next to me. Michele, we're gonna get to a bigger interview later, but nice to have you here.
Thank you, I feel the same exact way about you.
When we first started what we're doing in 2009, we were giving out awards tongue-in-cheek. And we gave Michele the Igniter of Business of the Year award.
And I think you
still keep that at the bottom of your email.
Absolutely, why not? I took it very seriously. It was a very big compliment from you.
Michele, even before the show starts, because what better way to give the feel of what we're going to go on here. Tell these people what's going on in the Long Island business community and why we're all here today and what we're doing.
Oh, we're trying to make Long Island a better place where everybody collaborates a little bit better. Everyone gets along, feels a little more community-minded, you know, and you've been a big part of that. We've always felt like that, but we found the people that feel like that and want to take it to that level.
This is meant to be a vehicle for the Long Island business community. You know, on one end, businesses come together, and in a variety of ways, we help people better their business. And on the other end, we're able to help raise awareness and collect supplies for charities. And after that, we don't have to do much more than that. Anything else you want to leave before we get the show started, Michele? Or anything else you want to tell these nice people?
No, let's do it, Long Island.
Man, let's have a great show. We'll be back right after this. Thank you.
This episode is sponsored by 2000 Computer Solutions. When it comes to business, there is no time for downtime.
Hello everyone, we're back. You know, we talk about building a business community network, and at its simplest, that's businesses coming together and building a resource, and then you mix it with doing good stuff in the community, and I think our next segment might tie all that in together. Here we have with us Doug King from Wheels in Motion. Dave, well, Doug, welcome.
Hi,
nice
Dave.
to have you here.
David.
Anthony McCabe from Genesis Creations, and of course the better half of the show, Jodi Jacobs. Nice having you here, Jodi. You know, Doug came to a networking event a couple weeks back, and then he went home and he wrote on his computer, you know how you go to events sometimes and you don't expect anything to happen because you never think you're going to meet the people that you want to meet. And he said that all changed for him that night. And what changed for him that night is he made closer communications with Anthony McCabe. He met Jodi Jacobs for the first time, and anything else I don't know because I'm not that smart, but Doug knows. Doug, tell us what's going on, buddy.
Well, my wife and I started our business back in 2008. It's called Wheels in Motion Consulting. And basically what it does is the 88 Americans with Disabilities Act, which was a law that was signed July 26th of 1990. It's a federal law that helps make places more accessible and makes things more on an even keel for people with disabilities. So what I do is I help out businesses, learn how to employ people with, disabilities, and also make sure that their places are, accessible.
How long has Wheels in Motion been an official business for now?
2008.
Okay, and business is tough, right?
Business is very tough.
I got news for you. Business is tough whether you're disabled or not disabled. I just want to let you know that, buddy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Doug, me and you, we talk away from this camera as well. You want to bring the world of abilities and disabilities together, and I even understand all that, and man, we're going to work towards it. But I think more before the abilities and disabilities, like people's hearts and synergies. I mean, that's why Anthony McCabe's here. I mean, Anthony McCabe, here you are, a business with disabilities. Anthony McCabe, been in business for years. Just opened up a store on Belmore Avenue right here for safety modifications, working with the disabled and working with seniors and stuff like that. And I know when I introduced you to each other, I mean, here you are in a business and I want you to make money. Here he has a business and I want him to be successful. And I'm like, you two have to get together. Yeah. And then I had to introduce you to Jodi, who goes over wonderful work that she likes to do with nonprofits and everything. You know something? I've heard enough of you. I want a different thing. Anthony, what's your perspective on all this?
Well, I do what I do because I think it's, it's a proper thing to do. I believe in inclusion. I don't, I don't like to see people held back by any sort of barrier. So anything that is available to them, I like to make aware and share that with the public.
Your business, Genesis Creations, seniors, disabilities. I know my parents are coming to that age. I know so much has been improved upon. I know so much is important. A couple of weeks back, a friend of ours had a silver alert. His father-in-law, who never had any problem ever, all of a sudden took off and went the wrong way. He was supposed to go from, say, West Iceland to Babylon, something like that, and he ends up in New Jersey. He was missing for over 30-something hours. I mean, in that case, they're taking a GPS, in addition to all the other things, and looking at doctors, just for future safety. They're putting a GPS, say, on the car, so he could always be looked at all times. Anthony, you've been in your business for years. Long Island, this is a region where there's many seniors. What's going on in this world of what we call grand care and some of the improvements that have been made that can help people in the community?
Well, that's coming on the lines of the new term telehealth, which is more getting involved with electronics and monitoring of people, and not visually monitoring, activities monitoring is what we do, because it's a less invasive kind of, you know, keeping an eye on a loved one. It's phenomenal. When I came across it, I was looking into a simple situation or a simple solution as the PERS is kind of that's a personal emergency response. It's a GPS. It's like the life alert. You've seen, you press a button. I came across the Grand Care system, and it is just far superior because it just offers so many options and so many different methods and ways to not keep an eye on, but just be aware of what's going on in your loved one's life. And it's now, it's the ability of it to branch out into other aspects is, it's really endless. The potential is outstanding. So we're really looking forward to start generating more interest in it, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Jodi, it was you who inspired Doug's email that night. I mean, I mentioned Anthony, but he said, I met Jodi Jacobs that night. What kind of work could you see yourself doing with Doug and Wheels in Motion, and how can we help him the best that we can?
Well, one of the greatest things about that night is whenever I go to one of the networking events, and it's the reason why I continue to keep going to yours, that when there's energy in the room, I stay. And there's always energy in your room. When Doug and his wife walked into the room, or rolled into the room, I turned my head, like I don't even know what it was, I turned my head, I said, I need to talk to that man. And the next thing I know, you're whispering in my ear, I have somebody you have to meet tonight. And we instantly made a connection. I made a little joke. I said, hey, Doug King, I'm here to be your queen. And he said, I'm sorry, that role is taken. And he introduced me to his beautiful wife, Erin. So we started to chat. When I was in college, I actually I was a resident assistant. I ended up working in a dorm that had a disabled floor because I wanted to work more with disabled, because I felt the same thing, that everyone there needed to have a different chance, needed to be looked at just like everybody else. They had the abilities, and I love what you say, Doug, with regard to let's look at the ability, not the disability. And so that night we started to chat a bit. I happen to know some fabulous musicians who are blind and are having the same problems that Doug was talking about. A psychologist, brilliant psychologist, cannot get work. On paper, he's wonderful, but he can't get a job once he rolls in or once he walks in and they see that he's visually impaired. Doug wants to challenge that. He wants to make that go away. He wants to see these people that have these wonderful skill sets get the jobs they deserve. So I'm all for that. Well, can totally get behind it. And besides that, we love to hang out and hear some good music too. So.
One of the things both these gentlemen do, and it's just on the business standpoint, is they don't just have their business and wait for people to come to them. You know, you can imagine years ago, tons of retail stores, and if all you did was take care of your retail store and wait for people to come in, man, you could be waiting forever. You know, I believe everyone should take their retail stores, when accessible, there's always exceptions to the rule, and turn it into a portal of business. So my example is your store. Theoretically, we could think of it as a store where people come into and they look at all the setups you have for seniors and people with the disabled, and we could leave it at that. But you're looking also to turn it into a portal of education for anything to do with that field. So if there's a healthcare professional or someone who has a topic to speak about when it comes to seniors, you're opening up your doors to put on seminars and things there with my friend Anthony.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, awareness is key, and it's crucial. And I feel fortunate that I've been exposed to so many different resources that I want to pool them together and, yeah, exactly, make the showroom a portal for education as well as to achieve meet the needs.
And my buddy Doug, you could just be sitting back waiting for people to hire you to come in and read their policies, or sitting back to give speeches, but no, you just recently started your own radio show. Is that in the works yet? It's still in the works, or it's come together?
It's still in the works. What my plans are is, the name of the show is going to be called Wheels in Motion Radio Show. And the tagline for the show, it's not about the disability, it's about the ability, and showing that people with disabilities can get out there, get involved in different things, not only just from the work point of view, but as well as different non-for-profits that are out there, and the different non-for-profits that need the help with just the everyday basic filing and typing and so on and so forth, and just giving time towards the different charities that are out there.
This is all good stuff. I want to end this segment on one thing, Doug. We were talking last week. My buddy Doug puts on Facebook. Could someone tell able-bodied people that they don't have to shout? I'm not deaf.
No, I'm not.
Right. I enjoyed this segment, everybody. We'll be back right after this.
This episode is sponsored by Floors, Decors, and More. Residential or commercial, all under one roof.
Someone said to me, David, you could have Angelina Jolie on your show, or you could have Michele Michael on your show. From the bottom of my heart, I swear on my children, I'd want Michele Michael on my show.
That's incredible.
And it's true. Michelle, when we started 516 Ads in 2009, we gave out awards tongue-in-cheek, and that's because if you tell people the winners, the other people get upset, like, why didn't I win? And I don't like upsetting people. But with that said, we called you the 2009 Igniter of Business of the Year Award.
I took it very seriously. I love that. I use it in my email signatures all the time. I take it very seriously. I love that.
Yeah, and new people to our show aren't involved in the networking world. You might not know what that means. In today's business world, I tell people you can't surround yourself with enough igniters of business. You can't surround yourself with enough people who make things happen. And it can't be written like exactly how it works. It's more like a feel. You meet people, if they hear something and someone needs something, man, they're on the phone trying to get the person. They look to create synergies. They look to try to help others. And I guess it's not a new thing, but you're such a pro at it. Tell our audience about the networking world and what's going on here, because my opinion's biased.
Well, I think you hit on something right now that I'm thinking about. I think that for people like you and I think one of our initial goals in life, in general, is just doing a good job every day. And if that means connecting somebody with another business person that they're going to maybe collaborate, or maybe they're going to get business from one another, or they should know each other because they know other industry related people. And I think that's what it stems from. I think it stems from wanting to help people. I've always been that type, like a nurturer. And then why wouldn't it follow through in the business world? And I think it just makes for good people. There's other people out there that do the same thing, and I feel like this is the coming together of it. We're building it up, and we're growing, and we're finding more like-minded people. So I think that's what we've been a part of watching the last 5 years now?
Going on
5
6,
years,
going
yeah.
on 6.
So, and it's a good thing, and you're one of my champions, so
You mentioned something, and I'm glad you said it. You said one of the things, and you didn't say we're bringing people together. It was a byproduct, but what you said is you want to be good, or you want to be great at what you do. I want you to know that's my drive.
Yeah.
My drive is to be great at what I do. When I worked in a dry cleaning store, I wanted to be the best dry cleaner. When I was a newspaper boy, I wanted to be the best newspaper boy. And when I'm trying to build a business community network of bringing business people together and helping charities, whatever that encompasses, I want to be the best at that.
Yeah,
I want to give our viewers quality info. I mean, you're not just here because of your wonderful energy, which is a big part of it. You're here because of substance.
Thank you.
So, Melville Chamber of Commerce, our hub in the Long Island business community. The Long Island Commercial Network has been valuable. One of our sponsors, Joe Haramis from Floors Decors, has told me she went to that group and how much business has spurned from there. You're a part of other groups as well. I mean, you're literally a hub of groups. It's like if we have Michele Michael on our team, we have an all-star on our team. Tell us about some of these places, some of the benefits you've seen, some of the benefits that might bring some of our viewers.
Well, a number of years ago, I got involved with the Melville Chamber of Commerce, and they asked me to chair the young professionals group and kind of get it off the ground and get it started and bring, you know, together a platform for young professionals to do business. Now, you know, the suggested age range is from about 21 to 40. However,
I had a problem with that. Okay,
so
go
did
on, go
I,
on,
because
go on,
I'm
go
not
on,
going to
go
have
on.
anybody hold me accountable and in any type of a legal setting. But
If Facebook had an unlike button, I was going to click on like.
I happen to believe that young professionals could be people that are maybe 50 or 60 years old that have had a career change. That's a young professional. But you know what? Honestly, we tried to provide a platform because as a young person, you don't have a book of business a lot of times. And so now you need some place to create it and take those people that you grow with. And that's what I'm seeing right now over the last few years. I'm so lucky to see it.
You
I
planted
see
some
these
smart
young,
seeds and you see them growing.
oh my God, they're all working together. They're doing business together. They're recommending one another. We have these great president's lunches. We started that sometime last year, maybe, God, it was almost a year ago actually that we started it. And the president of the Melville Chamber of Commerce, Mike DeLuise, hosts the lunch, and we bring in a special guest speaker that is going to bring something valuable to the table for these young professionals. And they're usually big names, and they're people that they need to connect with, or they should be connecting with, or they should be exposed to. And now they have this opportunity. And so we are averaging about 20, 25 people per lunch, and we're doing them at Jewel, and we're doing them at 4. And I'll tell you that last time we had a lunch, I think we were over 25 people, and we just kept adding chairs, and we have Rich Foster from Launchpad is going to be May 14th at 4 Food Studio.
Tell them to invite David from 516 Ads. But I want to move on to some other stuff, only because when you talk business, I was telling Donna last week, we could have done a whole hour interview with Donna. We could do a whole hour interview on ourselves. As far as the commercial network, Michelle's the type of person you should reach out to. But because our time is limited, I want to jump past one other thing. You know, last week on our first episode, we were talking to Eugenia Karahalias, and we were speaking about Sandy. And we were making a point of how some of the people who are hurt most, those were the ones bringing water to other people's houses and stuff like that. And the fact is, as I told you, you were the person I was talking about at that time. You know, Sandy hurt you, yet you're out there helping people. And at the same time, you receive so much help from people. I know, and you could cry if you want, or not cry, we'll hug and kiss, but I know this has touched you in such a way from what I think. I want Long Islanders to see real stuff, what's going on. This segment's going to end on you telling us about your experience with Sandy. Tell these people what happened, all different ways.
Wow. Wow, where to begin? We stayed for the storm, we watched Sandy come in, and we watched her go back out. And as you look around at the devastation, and still, it's 6 months later now, people are still trying to get back into their homes. Some of them haven't even started. But Sandy, for me, I said I can either take a look at this and be upset and angry and cry and complain, or I can do something about it. Get out there, get moving. We were able to, you know, bring some help to our neighbors and things like that, but I took a look at it and I said, you know what? This was the cathartic storm for me. I have an opportunity, I have a clean slate in my house, I can redecorate, I can do all these different things.
By the way, you want me to let go of your hand?
I decided I wasn't going to take that poor me, you know, the victim of Sandy. I hated that word. I got on Facebook and said, can't we use another word? I hate victim. So for me, Sandy, and you know, I had a busload of networkers that showed up at my house, unloaded. It was the most amazing thing to see.
A busload of networking means a busload of business people from Long Island. Network is equal to Long Island business people.
Tiffany
so Long Island
O'Reilly.
business people came to your house.
Tiffany O'Reilly was responsible for that, and they unloaded, you never saw anything like it in your life, unloaded 30 some odd people, clothing, food for everyone in my neighborhood. They came into my yard, they did things, we didn't know where to start. We didn't know what to do. They just, let's do this. What do you think if we do this? And they held our hands and walked us through the process and cleaned us out and fed us and took care of me, took care of my neighbors, took care of the neighbors around the block, walked around the canal and help the people on the block. But they were like superheroes. Like you would see them at the end of the day and they were walking across the canal. We could see them waving at us like, still going. These people were moving furniture, pulling things out all day long. But knowing that they helped us, and it was our networking community.
Thank you for giving me everything that you are gives me the courage to be able to do this show. You know, because it's all real. Because otherwise I can come across silly and put myself out there so people can make fun of me. Let them make fun of whatever they want. We're giving stories like this. And the last thing, man, I want you to know Long Island's a better place because of you. Thanks for being here. We'll be back.
This episode is sponsored by Laura Sabay CPA. You can count on us. To see more of this episode, check back to thedailyblue.com.